Welcome to Titans of Terror, where we look at the men and women who have shaped the horror landscape. Today's victim, or subject, is actor and author Ingrid Pitt. Ingushka Petrov was born in Warsaw, Poland on November 21st, 1937, to a Jewish mother and a German father, who was a scientist who refused to work on the Nazis' rockets program. At the age of 5, she and her mother were sent off to the Stutthof concentration camp, where they remained for 3 years. They managed to escape when they were taken into a forest to be shot, eventually making their way to Berlin. Ingrid was quoted as saying, "I was born into the biggest horror show of the century, the brutalities of the Nazi regime. I think it's very amazing that I got to do horror films when I had this awful childhood. But maybe that's why I'm good at it." Igushka became a member of Bertolt Brecht's Berliner Ensemble Theater Company. When she got into trouble for criticizing the communist authorities, she made her escape to the West, aided by a U.S. Marine officer, Lord Roland Pitt Jr., whom she soon married. After living for a period on a military base in Colorado, they divorced and she returned to Europe with her daughter. She took on the stage name of Ingrid Pitt after a small role. She lived in Spain for a while, appearing uncredited in several Spanish films, and even got work as an extra on David Lean's Dr. Zhivago and Orson Welles' Chimes at Midnight. Her first foray into the horror realm was in an invisible prehistoric dinosaur horror film called Sound of Horror, El Sonido de la Muerte. She eventually received a leading role in the low-budget sci-fi thriller The Omegans in 1968. She also landed the supporting role of the German double agent posing as a cafe waitress assisting Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton defeating the Third Reich in Where Eagles Dare. Most of the film's interiors were shot at the MGM British Studios, which began her love affair with England. Ingrid's breakthrough came when she was cast in The Vampire Lovers, based on Sheridan Le Fanu's novella, Carmilla. This was a co-production between Hammer Films and American International Pictures. Ingrid played a 200-year-old lesbian vampire who seduces her female victims before sucking their blood. While filming a scene in the movie, Ingrid's fangs kept falling out of her mouth and dropping onto Kate O'Mara's cleavage, prompting uncontrollable laughter from both actresses. To fix the issue, she grabbed some chewing gum from the mouth of one of the crew members and used it to secure her fangs. This was followed by the title role of Countess Dracula, loosely based on the life of Countess Elizabeth Bathory, where she bathed in the blood of virgins to stay youthful looking. In 1971, Ingrid also took part in the horror anthology film The Dorm That Dripped Blood, from Hammer's rival Amicus Productions. She appeared in the final segment called The Cloak, as a film star in schlocky horror movies who really becomes a vampire. Not long after, she appeared with her Dorm That Dripped Blood co-star John Pertwee in the Doctor Who serial The Time Monster. In 1973, she appeared as a supporting character in the cult classic The Wicker Man, alongside Christopher Lee. I wonder if they compared vampire stories. In 1975, she appeared on the ITV anthology series Thriller in an episode entitled Where the Action Is. The 1980s brought Ingrid to more mainstream television and films, including a BBC Two Playhouse episode called Unity, which hit close to home about her time during World War II. As she veered away from horror films, she appeared in various other movies, such as Who Dares Wins, aka The Final Option, Wild Geese 2, and Hannah's War. Ingrid also published her first book in 1980 called Cuckoo Run, a spy story about mistaken identity. At least a dozen books followed, including The Ingrid Pitt Bedside Companion for Vampire Lovers, The Ingrid Pitt Bedside Companion for Ghost Hunters, The Ingrid Pitt Book of Murder, Torture, and Depravity, and Dracula Who? In 1984, Ingrid returned to Doctor Who in the serial Warriors of the Deep, this time appearing alongside the Fifth Doctor, played by Peter Davison. In 1985, she appeared in the Clive Barker penned Underworld, aka Transmutations. Around this time, Ingrid founded her own theatrical touring company and starred in many successful stage productions, such as Dial M for Murder, Duty Free or Don't Bother to Dress, and Woman of Straw. In 1998, Ingrid lent her voice as the narrator of Cradle of Filth's Cruelty and the Beast album, as she reprised her Countess Dracula role as the Countess Elizabeth Bathory. In 1999, she wrote her autobiography entitled Life's a Scream, the autobiography of Ingrid Pitt. In the year 2000, Ingrid made her return to the big screen in the British horror film The Asylum, starring yet another doctor, Colin Baker. In 2003, Ingrid lent her voice to Lady Violator in the UK's first computer-generated animated film, Dominator. In 2006, Ingrid co-starred in the horror film Minotaur, along with Tom Hardy, Tony Todd, and Rutger Hauer. Her final screen role was in 2008's horror fantasy Sea of Dust, co-starring special effects legend Tom Savini. 7 months before she died, she finished narration for Ingrid Pitt Beyond the Forest, an animated short film on her experience in the Holocaust, with animation by Bill Plimpton. Ingrid was a fixture on the convention circuit and adored her fans. Fun fact, Ingrid also possessed a student's pilot license and a black belt in karate, so she was a legitimate badass. Ingrid died of congestive heart failure in a South London hospital on November 23, 2010, just 2 days after her 73rd birthday. The Bat salutes the queen of gothic horror, Ingrid Pitt, a true titan of terror.